Welcome to the Soul Train. My name is Jonathan Solen. In today's episode, we profile my mother's father, my grandfather, Charles Shilling Kendall. My brother is 5 years older than I am, so he has a slightly different memories of his grandpa, our grandpa. And I think maybe the best way he described him on our podcast, Solen and Solen, he said, he remembers thinking as a 10, 11, 12 year old, you know, being a Methodist minister could be fun. Here we go. So I'm going to start this profile by reading from my grandfather and grandmother's Christmas letter from January 1st, 1970. Grandpa and Grandma were excellent at putting together Christmas letters. And there's several, and they'll all be scanned and available for you to download and read for yourself. They just really provide a great amount of detail and excitement and love. So I'm just going to I'm going to read their note that they provide at the end of the letter. So let me just read here. We've been celebrating 40 years of richly rewarding married life. January 1st, 1970. Almost 14 years at Hollywood First Methodist Church, 45 years a Methodist minister, our 67th automobile, our 11th grandchild, and the 8th Let's See tour, where they traveled the globe and led tours for groups of people. We'll continue our tours during our vacation and leave June 22nd for Paris, Rome, Florence, Venice, Innsbruck, Oberammergau, Lucerne, and a 4-day Rhine cruise. Why not join us? He says. Wow. Wow. I mean, 67th automobile. How do you even do that? But one of my favorite memories is sitting in the back of a grand Cadillac convertible and driving to the um, hamburger shop and where we would get hamburgers. And we were in line ordering and giving what we wanted to Grandpa. And for the drinks, I said, I would like a root beer. And he says, no, we're only serving milk. Don't worry, I got over the disappointment. So Charles Kendall and Mary Lou Travis come from Indiana, and there's a lot of history in Indiana that we will cover. Um, my grandfather was born in Fredericksburg, Indiana, at the southern end of the state. My grandmother was born in Mishawaka, Indiana, at the northern part of the state near South Bend. They would both attend DePaul University, and that's where they would meet and fall in love and get married in Chicago. And to give you an idea of what Charles was like in college, here is a yearbook photo of Epsilon Epsilon, an organization founded to promote interest in Greek literature and art. And here's a close-up of young Charles Kendall. Little did he know at the time that his son-in-law would also grow to love Greek literature. To cover the early career of Charles Kendall, I'm so glad to have my mom saved. She saved this program, which was the dedication of the new sanctuary at Central Methodist Church in Phoenix. And as part of this program, printed September 1950, there's a summary of Charles Kendall and his career. And I'll just read it because it traces where he served. Beginning his ministerial career as a pastor of the Maywood Methodist Church in Indianapolis in 1925, Dr. Kendall dedicated a new church there in 1927. While a student at Boston University, sound familiar? He was an assistant minister at the Robinson Memorial Methodist Church in Malden. In December, he was appointed to the Riverdale Methodist Church in Gloucester and returned to Chicago to get married and then begin his pastorate in Gloucester in 1930. And these portraits, these photographs of the young pastor couple are just beautiful from 1930. So in 1933, the Methodist bishop in California sent Charles Kendall a telegram asking if they would consider coming and pastoring a church in Los Angeles. Can you imagine the excitement? Now, how that happened, I have no idea. No idea how the bishop in California would know about a couple in Massachusetts that they might recruit. But circles in the Methodist Church can be small and those relationships deep. So as my grandfather recollects, in July 1933, Mary Lou and I arrived in Los Angeles, having pulled a luggage trailer from Gloucester loaded with virtually all our possessions. We had 11 blowouts en route. Our 15-month-old son, Uncle Trav, would have a little sister the following February, my mom. They were at Community Methodist Church in Los Angeles for 9 years until 1942, when they were appointed to Central Methodist Church in Phoenix, Arizona. And that's where my mom would go to high school. After 14 years there, they were asked to pastor Hollywood First Methodist Church. Hollywood. And they said, yes, we'll do that. So they went to Hollywood in 1956. My mom and dad would be married there at that church in Hollywood. Then in 1970, he was appointed to the Tucson district, just like my grandfather Harold, after working for many churches, asked to serve at the district level. So they were in Tucson, and then in 1973, my grandfather passed away of a heart attack. As we close out this profile on Charles Shilling Kendall and his family, I have some amazing photos I just want to share. This is just a beautiful family photo in 1939 in Oak Creek Canyon. As you drive from Phoenix north on your way to Flagstaff in the Grand Canyon, Oak Creek Canyon is a stunning canyon with tall trees and cool breezes next to the creek, and a favorite place that we would camp many times. The family would go on a Grand Canyon mule expedition from the top of the rim all the way down to Phantom Ranch and back. In Boston, when my dad and mom were falling in love and getting engaged, Grandpa made sure to visit and take my mom and dad, as well as my Uncle Phil and Aunt Noelle, out to dinner. There they are. We also traveled out to California on a regular basis. Here is a huge family photo for their Christmas card. We also tried to go on a mule trip down the Grand Canyon, but circumstances prevented it. I believe it was weather, but we ended up going on a long horse ride with all of the cousins, and that has its own story. My brother Kendall was born in November of 1959, and so this is summertime 1960, where baby Kendall is with Grandpa and Grandma, and they are enjoying their new grandson.
evidently the kind of family that we're looking for. And he is learning enough Spanish that he just might end up as a bilingual minister. We certainly need some who can speak both English and Spanish. Now, as we go along, Mary Lou, anytime you think of anything you want to say in this conversation, why, cut in, and I'll hold it right in front of your mouth.
Well, the wind's cutting me. The wind is cutting me, and I'm driving. Every time we go over a bridge or under one, the car takes off in a direction I'm not ready for.
Well, could that be because you're driving 82 instead of 75, what the road is posted?
I don't think so. I'm just keeping up with the man ahead of me.
Well, supposing you cut it back to 75.
Well, then the little car behind me will overtake me for the second time.
You mean the one with the red lights on it?
No, the one with one fella, and the minute he gets in front of me, he's a little sports car, and the minute he gets in front of me, he starts to dig down onto the right side, the other seat, trying to find something, and that slows him down.
Well, I still feel, with the wind whipping us, here's another overpass, and it will go whoop, there it went. Now we get a crosswind, not a headwind anymore. Well, anyhow, she's a good driver. We should be in Phoenix about the same time we run out of gas, the way we're going now.
Well, we surely have used up the gas on this trip. We're crossing baseline out by the edge of Tempe, or Mesa.
This photo here is a wonderful photo. It shows my grandparents' spirit, their love of travel, and they are just ready to go out, meet people, share the love, make relationships, and do good works. In 2024, my son Charles was able to visit the First Methodist Church in Hollywood and get his photo taken with his great-grandfather. What a joy. Until next time, when we cover the life of Mary Lou Travis.
Way down yonder in the state of Arkansas, where my great-grandpa met my great-grandma. They drink apple cider and they get on a jag, and they dance all night to the salty dog rag. They play an old fiddle like you never heard before. They play the only tune that they ever did know. It's a ragtime ditty and the rhythm don't drag. Now here's the way you dance to the salty dog rag.